So this is neither Isaiah nor Malachi. This is Micah. It says this, "And I will gather my people together as a man gathereth his sheaves into the floor. For I will make my people with whom the Father hath covenanted, yea, I will make thy horn iron, and I will make thy hoofs brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will consecrate their gain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. And behold, I am he that doeth it." That can feel like confusing imagery, right? What is going on
What's
here?
happening?
But I think we can bring it down to earth pretty quickly. Of course, the larger context is very clear. We're talking about the scattering, gathering kinds of context. In verse 18, we've got a gathering of the people, but gathered as sheaves into the floor. The imagery here is a threshing floor. So in ancient Israel, when you cut down wheat, you don't simply cut it down and extract the kernels right away. You would throw it into what's called a threshing floor, and you'd let it dry out, because the stalks dry out and become super brittle and that kind of thing. And then you would bring in an ox, and tied to the ox a thing called a threshing sledge, which looks kind of like a sled, but it would have like iron teeth on the bottom and that kind of thing. And the oxen would just walk in a circle around the threshing floor, because wheat kernels, if you've ever had to grind wheat, they are super hard. Bugs won't eat them or anything, right? But everything else there will get crushed to powder.
Okay.
So, which
The wheat
is
stands out. Is it that?
the wheat just remains as these nice hard kernels with the threshing sledge and the ox that can just trample everything else till it's powder. But those wheat kernels, nice and hard, and they stay.
That's cool.
So then someone comes out with what's called a winnowing fork, and they put that in the piles, and they'll just throw piles of things up in the air, and the dust will float away. That's chaff. You hear that image in the scripture a lot. And the kernels, of course, just fall back to the ground. You got your wheat. That's the image that's being used here. And it beats in pieces many people, which can sound like a very violent image. But what we have here is a separating out of those hard kernels. And then these, it says, are consecrated to the Lord. That's a beautiful image, I think, for the gathering. Like, it's no picnic. It's not just a, God gathers and it was easy and wow, that was no problem, right? It's process and it's hard and there's judgment on the nations and so on. But also, those hard kernels can withstand everything that happens there, and they can be consecrated to God.